Come on, dance move. Sunday, fun day, live on a Sunday. Welcome, we are coming. Who said we can't overcome it? Let's just beat it one more time. I'm gonna get one more beat in before I go in. Let's try this for the video. What about this one right here, y'all? It's a little beat. I try to make it myself, but you know, it was a little experimentation. But we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out like we normally do. We will, because we got lots. Lessons. Sunday is the period what we all repercussions. Oh, all right, man. What it do, everybody? It's your boy, King Crowder, back again. This time, I'm chiming up with another weekly review, man. Thank you for everybody that worked hard this week, earned their money, earned their keep, spent time discovering and learning things, because it surely was a lot going on this week. I got several topics that I want to chop it up. I'm going to give you my cold, hard facts on it. No chaser. Because what we do right here, we try to tell the truth, y'all. Forget everything else. You know, we don't care about what everybody else thinking or how they feel about a certain situation. What we try to do is talk about the honest truth. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let me put my notes up right quick. Because, you know, a lot of people were talking about the situation this week. But the one thing I want everybody to watch for and understand is I'm going to teach you how to catch something that don't pass that. Hey, put your nose up. That smell test. And let's go ahead to all the way to Hoover, Alabama. Hoover, Alabama, man. Let's talk about Carlee Russell. And let's talk about how this should have been a lie outrightly. I don't know if the sister has problems. Mental health is a serious thing in this country, and I'm not going to joke about that. But we got to talk about, man, the finesse game that's going on in the great state of Alabama. They've been having a lot of finesse jobs going on down there, Bama. I don't know what's going on. But we're going to chop it up about this. Number one, let's back it up to the very beginning. Carlee Russell said she was driving out at night and saw a child on the highway and pulled over. Number one, fellas, I want all of us to chime in on this one. Name me the young women that pulls over for people that suck off on the side of the highway. First lie. Number two, name me the woman that at night is feeling comfortable with stopping over for anyone. That is a rare group of women that feel comfortable doing that. Women on average have to be more defensive because of their physical limitations. So we got to go ahead and debunk all of that stuff when I hear. When I heard that first note, at night, saw a child, began to stop, that didn't make sense to me. Because all the women I know in my life, my sisters, my mother, my wife, they don't do stuff like that. Women just are not prone to pull over and help people. And as you look at their life and how their body is constructed, you understand that. You understand immediately that most women ain't stopping over to help nobody, change no tire, help nobody with no kids, especially at night. Now, they will call law enforcement. Women will do that. But on average, men stop and help the situation outright. Men tend to intervene and interact when situations goes awry. On average, let's do the numbers. I'm not saying it's impossible. But if we look at this sister, she is a girly girl by looking at her images and how she places herself. I find it very Unbelievable that she would stop and do that type of thing in the middle of the night. Number two, that put my tinfoil kufi on, that made me have a cause to pause. When she got out the car, she didn't have an Apple Watch on. What? What do you mean? She just got out the car and left the Apple Watch and she was kidnapped? And the Apple Watch stayed on her wrist and she left it in the car after she left Target or a grocery store? Let's think about that in totality. You didn't put the Apple Watch on your wrist. You went and got food that was taken with you, but you didn't want to take any devices to keep you and locate you where you are. Okay, all right, let's walk through it some more. You went through and tried your best to intervene on the act that you felt was unsafe when you were not worried about your own safety. One thing I want to start telling people, and this is a uncomfortable truth that I had to this week about, is that we got to stop acting like there is not a threshold for people that get kidnapped. I'm not trying to be insensitive, but usually when you see movies or films or TV shows about kidnappings and how they happen, you must understand there's a younger age demographic that wants that. Usually when you see women that are a little bit older, have a little more weight, that doesn't happen to them. I'm not saying it's impossible, but we have to understand there is a certain idea and look that people that of that ilk and seek that look for. And whenever I see a woman that looks mature, that looks adult-like, you don't see that being a victim. Most victims you see are of certain look, ancestry, and tend to happen in larger market cities. You don't see it happen in small towns that are very secure, very loving, very open, such as Hoover, Alabama. Number three, the final nail in the coffin for Miss Russell. What you did was that within 48 hours, you broke from your hostages. You walked home, and you felt that you could not talk to law enforcement. Ma'am, y'all all lying. Let's go and say it what it is. Y'all don't make no sense. They all lying. I feel for the parents because I know they want to support their child, but either the child has a mental illness or the child is lying and she needs to be brought to justice. I hate to say it, y'all. The resources, the amount of attention and things that went to this victim, potential victim, was wasted. She deserves to be treated the same way as Jessie Smollett did in his hoax case. If we find out, which we already know, gathering the details, that she lied for some reason to garner attention, to do whatever she tried to do, she needs to face consequences. Right now in our society, women do not face consequences. That is the reason why they feel fearless, and that is the reason why when they go to other countries, they tend to struggle. This chimes into the new subject if you haven't heard about it. And I'm not going to pivot off the Carlee Russell case, but I'm going to give an example. There was a lady from Houston, Texas, that was a truck driver known as a sassy truck driver, and that went to a country known as Dubai. If you know anything about history in the world, you know that the most Middle Eastern countries are theocracy. Theocracy means they are a religious-led law, convictions, and how they practice their religious practices in overall daily life. So you have to understand, there is an extreme patriarch society. They believe in following the old Quran text to the T. I'm saying as far as if you steal something with your left hand, they believe that your left hand should be amputated and cut off. Going to these type of countries, you must understand that the ideology that is in the United States of America strictly stays here. A lot of the time when our women travel and do certain things, they do not understand how different the world is. So this young lady who was unfortunately the sassy truck driver, when she had that same similar situation happen, she did not understand that under Islamic law, it is improper for a young lady to speak at a man in a demanding tone. And when she made those accusations, no matter if it was harsh or not, when you are in a law of a land of a different country, you must, one, understand when you are in somebody else's house, you follow their rules. Even if I don't like it, I'm going to follow your rules because I don't know what you could do to me. I don't know the language, the legal system, nor was I brought underneath their code. Who wants to go to jail in the AEE? If you don't know what their hate crimes is, Google it. Educate yourselves. But we must understand that we must teach our people, specifically our women, that the world is very different outside of what we're brought up and what we're raised. Because the world historically always has anti-black racism, but you must also understand that the laws are different. And in AE, most people don't know you are guilty until you prove yourself innocent. That means that you are to provide the burden of proof that you did not do that law. And under theocracy, death is very common. Um, Withdrawal and heavy sentences are very common. That is how they deter crime, and that is why most of their countries are so safe. So I'm so sorry that young lady has been arrested, but I want this to be a sign and a story to people in the United States, especially when you travel to developing or more religious tone countries. The world is very different. You must educate yourself on where you're going to and what could potentially happen. Going all the way back to the Carlee Russell situation again, chiming in how she put her family in a situation that was uncomfortable. Number one, you made your parents and them look crazy on national TV. Let's call it, keep it 100. You did. You told them flat out that you did something that you felt that you operated in your best standpoint. Knowing you was lying. You was lying, man. You was lying the whole time. How you get caught in your car running off the highway, leaving the lights on? Man, you was bugging out. I'm going to go ahead and throw this theory out there, y'all. Carlee Russell was on drugs. She fled out. She had a serious thing happen. Once she happened, she had a panic attack and she hallucinated. That is exactly what I feel like this happened. They ain't got to say it. They ain't got to demean the girl's name. But 2 plus 2 is 4, ain't it? And when you look at the study and you see what's going on, you can see the steps, what potentially could have been happening. That is the only thing that makes sense. Because everything else in that story is very confusing. And I definitely feel like there is quite a bit of things that are still missing. So Carlee, to me, I want you to tell you something. Come clean, baby girl. Tell your people. Don't lie. Be transparent. And let them know what is going on right now. Because you ain't doing nothing but hurting them and your family's name. On to my second point. I don't know if people caught it quick. Did you know that Russell and Sierra Wilson store got closed down in Denver, Colorado? I'm calling it now, ladies and gentlemen. They got marital problems. Yeah. They got marital problems. If we already don't know, no matter how you feel about it, most men know Sierra for the streets. She for the streets. The way she carry herself, the way she treat Russell, the way she responded and how she acted. Sierra has her own issues right now. I know you just heard Future's song. You just heard Future's song where he said F Russell. He said what he said and he felt what he felt. So they obviously have some internal battles that we don't know about. Why else would they store this closed down out of nowhere? That was a quick little footliner header. I'm going to throw it out there early, ladies and gentlemen. Russell Wilson and Sierra are having problems. They closed the store. Russell lost weight. They're looking different. You heard it from me first. King Crowder exclusive. Watch what I tell you. Something's going on in that household. Something. I can't put my chin on it. But something about it don't make sense. Oh, comment earlier. I don't think it was drugs. What about her boyfriend? Attention seeking? Also a nursing student. I think drugs would have ended her. Fair point. Fair point, D. No pushback on that at all. I just want to say it is too many red flags speaking in that Carlee Russell situation that was not answered. And I believe those type of things need to be answered in a timely manner. Moving on, y'all, right now. You know I always keep my ear to the streets, the situations, the code, what's going on right now. And what nobody's talking about, man, is how many hip-hop tours are being canceled. Hip-hop tours, rap shows, albums, they are being canceled, ended. Why are they being ended? Lack of sales, lack of interest, and lack of general fan base. One thing we got to give the previous generation, y'all, they knew how to cultivate their sound. I want you to go down to Apple Music and play the hip-hop directions and just click play and let 10 songs play. And when you listen to those first 10 songs that come up, I want you to tell me what currently is the sound leading hip-hop. In my opinion, there is none. I know I'm going to sound like one of the old heads. I'm going to throw it out there right now. But I do believe everything in life should be looked at with an analytical viewpoint. If we look at hip-hop a decade ago, right? Let's go back to 2012. you can hear distinct sound differences in the music. But if you look at current hip hop's iteration, you do have your big artists. Now, I enjoy Travis Scott. I like 21. I like Uzi sometimes. Yeah. I do like Young Boy. I do like Lil Baby. I do listen to some of them guys, especially when I'm working out. But if you listen to the whole variety of these guys, you will understand that all the sounds very watered down and very much the same. You don't see any enthusiasm. You don't see any storytelling. You don't see any true artistry. What I mean by that, as much as we can love and hate the brother, Kanye West is an artist genius. He is so much of an artist genius that this brother sold out arena tours for an album listening party. He knows how to draw up interest. He is an extreme marketer. He knows how to have his own sound and music titles. He knows how to keep things interesting. I want you to think about all the hip hop albums of 2023. Name me one project that drew interest, had a winning format, kept people interested in the hip hop dynamics, and had a story with it. Just think about it. Name me any records of hip hop genre that you heard that fit that criteria. It saddens me as a hip hop enthusiast, aficionado, historian, lover of the Black American sound. Right now, it is too corporatized. Whenever something becomes too corporate, ladies and gentlemen, growing up, we used to always think corporate means better. Corporate means big, slow, lack of innovation. When corporate things take over a sound, a music genre, or interest, they limit who can listen. Corporate wants to repeat sales and gain sales years over years. They don't care about the quality. Corporate cares about the shareholders and how they're growing the hip hop brand. They do not care about the bottom line quality. Whenever you hear corporate, do not think of quality. Think of shareholders. Think about growing your business interests and maximizing your profit, which is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But what you see going away in the artistry known as music is that it is severely deteriorated. You can. And this is me just speaking. Just think about it, y'all. For example, Lil Baby, Lil Durk are one of the biggest artists out right now. How did these brothers not be able to sell out 5,000 seat venues? Think about that for a second. Lil Baby got at least 10 Billboard records, 10 at least. How is he having to cancel tour dates right now? How is he having to end where he can shop at and where he can regionally perform at? One thing I will throw out there early, shout out to my boy Nate again, my music aficionado, that we don't take into account. Right now, Drake and Beyonce are on tour. And when the big sharks are on tour, they gobble up ticket prices from the smaller people, which is true. So you got to think as a consumer, am I going to see Beyonce and Drake, Taylor Swift, or am I going to see Lil Baby? I'm going to see Drake. And the rest of the money that people have are made to go to these tours. And what we are seeing in real time is people canceling their venues. You are seeing hip hop artists who are staples, y'all. I think Lil Baby is a big artist. I really do. I listen to him actively while working out. He is one of the new guys, him and the NBA guy. I can listen to them on a playlist and just play it back to back. But it is a travesty that these brothers do not have a solid enough fan base to tour in Utah, Wyoming, Cali. They should be able to do it domestically and worldwide. Right now, the state of hip hop must take an analytical viewpoint. It is too corporate. It needs more small businesses. We need the No Limit Records. We need the Cash Money Records to ascend, the MMGs, the Rockefellers, the Def Jams. They need those sounds because right now, the corporate infrastructures have diluted the music. If it's going this way, y'all, and we don't see a pivot, I do not see hip hop dominating. It will stay consistent. I do not see it dominating over the next 20 years. There's no way. It's just on this path of staying the same, lack of performance artistry, lack of development. I don't see how it's going to happen. I think the sound and the consciousness is still there, but right now, the corporate infrastructure has dominated. There needs to be a reevaluation. There needs to be an adjustment of talent. There needs to be a balance with this recession coming. It needs to be a balance. It just needs to be a reset, y'all. A hard reset, talent first, artistry second. There's plenty of money. There's a sea of money out there, y'all. We understand that. But you must develop ways to cultivate your talents more. Now I gotta time it on back to one of the GOATs, the LeBron James of our era. Shout out to Drake. Drake, love, hate, enemies, disgusted by him. The brother's longevity has been legendary. Love or hate him, y'all. His longevity has been legendary. I'm gonna prove it to you. Drake has been around since I was in undergrad, almost high school. He dropped his first album, I believe, So Far Gone in 2008. It is the year 2023, and he is still at his apex. Love him or hate him, y'all, he's LeBron James of our era. He's not great at one thing, he's good at everything. He does attract sound, ride the waves, changes his look, but we must give a stand. We must understand something that I learned. Read the book Unlearn. The strongest do not survive. The most adaptable do. Let me repeat that again. The strongest do not survive. The most adaptable people do. Drake has been the most adaptable, changing, artist learning, self-studying person of his generation. Every piece of artwork and quality of music he puts down, I didn't say it was A+ quality. I do believe Kendrick Lamar's apex, J. Cole's apex are higher than Drake's. But one thing I will say is Drake's consistency is where he outperforms J. Cole and Kendrick. All three of those artists are the apex, Michael Jackson, Jordan, whatever you want to look at it. They are the apex of their field. But Drake is separated by the amount of work and consistent quality he does time after time again. No matter if you think he's nasally, no matter if you think he doesn't have a signature sound, does he have a classic album, all are debatable. I'm not going to sit right here and argue with you on none of that. I think those are very great talking points. But we must give the brother credit for his longevity, for his pretty much staying power and consistency, his ability to sell out tours till this day. Think about it. He's gobbling up the younger artists. Drake is doing that. He's in arenas right now gobbling up those ticket sales because he sees the pandemic. The pandemic. Excuse me, the recession coming. He sees that coming down the hole, and he sees how it will change the dynamic of hip hop and how it flows. Drake is one person that we should watch and win. Number one, he's winning. He has the formula. He has his ear to the street. He stays consistent. He stays low key, and we don't know about him. We don't know much about Drake's personal life outside of his kid. Pusha T did do that Ether record. That was Ether level. Shout out to Pusha. But we don't know much about Drake. He stays out the frame. He wins. He records his records. He stays away from the industry. Drake don't be on blog sites. When the last time has he done an interview? When the last time have you heard him speak on any issue? Now, I do believe in what Ebro in the morning said, even though Ebro's not a good source. You know, he always says wild things. Ebro is correct. Drake has not had a Michael Jackson moment. That is what I believe separates him, Kendrick, and Cole. Drake has not had a political stance, record saying, but I mean, he could be some money guy. His mother was white. He was raised with her in Toronto. His upbringing and experience were different. I cannot hold him to the same standard as I hold Kendrick, who grew up in Compton. It's different. But as far as strictly musically, the brother's been phenomenal. He has out-achieved, outlasted, outdueled his entire competition, and he's running laps around him. Think about everybody that came out when Drake came. Think about all the people that were popping when he first came out. Think about it. Think about how big of artists were ahead of him. The brother has had a slow, lasting burn. And what he's done that way is, again, adapting new sound, meeting new artists, riding the artist's wave, consistently changing up his look and imagery, going towards that new sound, hiring writers and beat rappers. That's his method, y'all. That is the formula for staying power that Drake has showed us. All of us should rinse, wash, and repeat this because he's showing all artists, music people what to do. You have the Kanye style, you have the Kendrick way, you have the new Travis Scott glow, you have the Rod Wave flow. Everybody can choose their lane they want to go. But you must understand one thing and one thing mainly. Keep music at the forefront. Keep music at the forefront. You got to understand that the music is going to have you staying power more than anything. And if your staying power for the music is not where it's supposed to be, you will not continue to see your craft develop. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand that it's the same cycle for everyone, no matter where you meet. If you want your craft, your records, and the longevity to happen, to impact your life, you got to put that work in, baby. Period. Because I'm going to tell you one thing nobody else talks about. And it's so true, y'all. My pop says a lot of things, right? I think he's crazy sometimes. But what I'm learning, man, is that everything he says to me is very true. He said, son, the talent, you'll see people that have more than you. But the gap, you'll see as you get older, is that people that work. Everybody, I like to use myself as a great example, was way more smart than me, had more example, made more opportunities. But what separated us, y'all, as we grew, was that I was willing to get on the bus. I was willing to catch the extra ride. I was willing to work the Walmart, the 3-hour stands. I was willing to stay up later than most of my people. That is why I see myself ahead of them in a lot more ways. Mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. That is what leads me superior in the head. I don't mind putting out something bad and readjusting, learning from it. Most people have this ideology that it must be perfect. Drake has that same mindset. Drake will put something out to test the waters. That is how you continue to grow time after time again. Remember, y'all, the method for winning is the same. Music, business, life, there is no difference. Learn from one thing that people like Drake did to have his staying power. The work got to be done, y'all. You got to be in the gym. You got to be in the booth. You got to be writing. You got to be learning. You got to be putting that work in. Bottom line. Because if you're not, you will notice immediately why these things outperform us. So let's wrap up on this right quick. Let's wrap it up again. Older hip-hop is better because these guys put their hours in, stay in power, and they had to master the craft. Newer hip-hop is more about trendy subjects, which is nothing wrong with it. But nobody has their own genuine style, their own core fan base. That is why you see these artists struggle to sell out shows. There is no way that these newer artists should not have the staying power of Beyonce. I mean, Beyonce is iconic. I'm not going to disrespect her. She's Queen Bee for sure. And I'm never going to disrespect Queen Bee and say what she ain't supposed to be doing because that's Beyonce. But at the same time, the artists that are supposed to be on her level are supposed to be doing the same thing. And I do believe if you want those things and those same results, you got to earn them. Man, oh man. I want to thank everybody for who's subscribing to this channel. I want to thank everybody that's watching this live. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe, whatever. Remember, I love history by nature, giving more feedback on myself. I'm a history guy, right? Love history. I love teaching the stories that are not told to us. But I want to come in here and give a real take and an honest opinion because I believe a different voice is needed. My nickname is the organizer. Why do I like to give that name? Many people talk about things we need, but nobody talks about how we're going to organize it and make it manner in a specific way. That is my job. That is my passion. That is my passion. I want you to understand that. So as you listen, understand why I come and why do I say this. I want to be able to add value. That's all I want to do, y'all. So let's go ahead and chime it on in, y'all. Move it on along. Thank you again for watching this channel, watching this live. I appreciate y'all. I'm definitely loving the energy from these people, and I feel like classic brewing. Let's go all the way down, ladies and gentlemen. Man, we got to go all the way down for something. If you did not know, let me put my notes up right quick. The YM Melly trial happened this week. YM Melly is a hip-hop artist based out of Florida. And YNM Melly, named Jamil Maurice Demons, was actually, convicted for a murder trial, a death murder trial in Jacksonville, Florida. The trial was called for a mistrial due to the DA lack of evidence. Number one, I want to apologize to the victims, man. Whenever you talk about these kind of cases, nobody wins. Melly got all, but his reputation is done. The people lost their brothers, sons, father, children's fathers were alone. It's no win in these type of situations. Melly got free, man, but will he ever feel free again? I mean, his career won't be the same. His feelings, his thoughts, what he was doing, he can never recreate that momentum back. But the Jacksonville DA should be fired. The Jacksonville, Florida District Attorney's Office should be fired. Why are you seeking the death penalty for a young man with this lack of evidence? Why are you seeking a death penalty with not even doing the proper research? What is going on? This young man, you had jurors on trial to kill a man. I don't think people understand how that weighs on certain people's conscience. You cannot say that I am going to convict this man and he will die at my hand without any physical proof, hardcore evidence, and the judge being open and fair-minded. The DA of Jacksonville needs to either resign or be fired because this was a complete incompetent job. You cannot seek these type of charges with this weak of evidence. The death penalty? First off, why do we still have the death penalty in some of these states and we don't? I don't get these laws. Some of these laws I don't understand. I want to say something. For those people who live in America, United States of America, North America, we live in different countries. We call them states, but if you've traveled around this great country like I have, there is no way there's a resemblance between Virginia and New York. There is no way there's a resemblance between Florida and California. They are different countries. We call them states. We call them the United States of America, but that is nothing bit of the truth. They are completely opposite. We need to understand that how we govern in an old philosophy is not going to work anymore. I know that we're on the laws. I know we're trying to stay under the system. I'm not saying we need to revamp things. But stuff like this where a gentleman beats a double murder trial based off the incompetence of a district attorney is insane. It is insane. And for you to go to court with forensic evidence of a traditional cop without any substantial evidence, DNA, is shocking. I'm reading the case findings, y'all, and I'm no attorney. I'm a regular, college-educated male that can read and does research on his own. But when you read these case findings and you see that the guy put down chalk and measured it with his hands, what? Hold on. What? This is not 1925, brother. All of these tools and mechanisms that you have at your handheld, why didn't you seek that? The reason why they tell you to seek external guidance is because it gives away the reasonable doubt term. Melly's defense team ruled this court rightfully so. They poked holes in everything that could have been said. They said, how are you going to prove this if you did not get substantial evidence? The cops on this case look shady. Look like they had a vendetta. Look like they wanted to railroad this man, Mr. Demons. Not saying that he don't deserve some things in his record. I don't know him personally. But what I'm saying is that if we're in a court of law and the court is supposed to be blind, everybody is supposed to get the proper and just freedoms. It did not look fair. And for the court office to lose a double murder nationwide trial of a prolific rapper, oh my God. Oh. Can you imagine having constituents in this town knowing that you lost a case of this magnitude? You can't do that. You just can't. Not with that flimsy evidence, not with all of those things you went with. You should have caught a plea, a deal, or anything. But the defense team for Mr. Melly deserves all their money. You got this brother off on a double murder rap, 3-9 mistrial. Now, I'm not sure. It didn't say exactly in the footnote if it was with prejudice or without prejudice. I'm assuming without prejudice. It was a mistrial. The court, and he cannot be retried for those crimes, y'all. Double jeopardy. If you did not know history or the legal system, look it up. So YMW Melly got free because 3 jurors chose and the 6th said they could not come to a conclusion, which is virtually a mistrial. There was not enough substantial evidence to put this brother the needle and kill him. The court worked the way it was supposed to. The judge said it. The DA said it. The evidence did not prove beyond a reasonable of a doubt that he deserved to die. And our closing thoughts, well, my closing thought on this subject is that these legal systems around this country right now, we got some more L's that's finna fall. And I'm going to go on the line. Wyman Melly's court case, he got off. If you in Atlanta right now, the YSL case, DA Fannie Willis, she about to lose that case, y'all. People look at me when I say that. She hasn't even got jurors selected. What? She hasn't got a jury team, pool, and attorneys are complaining about it. She about to lose this case. Fannie Willis is about to lose this case and lose her job. Do you know how bad this is looking, y'all? I'm no legal expert or guru, but this long just to get jurors on trial, there's no way you can win this. Jeffrey Williams, Young Thug, is going to get off on this case. I'm calling it early. I don't know whether Thug did the crime or he did not. I'm not in Atlanta. I don't want to speak on anything that's not for sure. But the way that the prosecution and how it's being set up right now, it's giving me Jacksonville, Florida vibes. It's showing me incompetencies already. The trial is supposed to happen and you cannot get a set of jury members to hold this court case. Listen to it. It's been real quiet in Atlanta as far as the prosecution. Remember how loud Mr. Fannie Willis was when she first started? We going after Trump. If you are a gang member, avoid my city. I haven't seen her on TV in a few months, have you? I haven't seen her on no national workstation, radio stations. I haven't seen her face one iota. What does that tell you? That tells me something going on. When somebody's gone away and you don't see them for a while, I think, what's going on? Because, you know, people go away for a while. It's usually things in their life, personal life. You go down till you come up. That's one. But also, you're trying to avoid people. What you avoid people for? Oh, those mistakes. You put 16, 17, 18 men on trial for a RICO case that's never been done in the state of Georgia. This will be the first RICO for hip-hop artists. I mean, you got the headlines. You got the headlines, but now you got to convict. And the conviction ain't looking good. Ain't nobody got to talk about it, but I just read tea leaves, y'all. Remember, I'm a tea leaves reader. And as you see, this already happened to Melly, a lack of evidence. What's the evidence on Thug? What is it? I know he was a gang member. I know why there was a potential gang. I know they had the slime, the king language. Gangs are militias. We get it. But the KKK's a gang. Proud Boys are a gang. There's a lot of gangs in America. We just don't talk about them. I really believe with all my heart, y'all, that it's supposed to be another court case dropped. How they gonna do it? How? Just think, y'all. When people get quiet, usually means something's happening. When people get quiet, they ain't talking for a while, that means some negative stuff going on. That means they don't want to talk about it. But right now, if you look at the Atlanta trial court scene, let's go on, just look at it. Let's click it right now. Let's type in YSL court case in Atlanta. I'm going right to it, y'all, ladies and gentlemen. As of right now, Young Thug was still denied bond. The Fulton County Judge revoked his bail again. Standard procedure to me in a RICO case. I'm not going to disagree with that. Young Thug does not need to be free. However, when a defense team, rightfully so, has asked for treatment of evidence, they haven't gotten denied twice. They have. The defense team is playing chess, y'all. I mean checkers. Chess. And the DA is playing checkers. They really are. Look at it. Use your eyes openly. Think. Thug has been incarcerated this long. The court case and jury have not even been found. They are doing this to drain this brother's resources. Let's keep it real. That's exactly what they're doing. Fair. I'm not going to say that's not excellent strategy by the DA. But now, how are you going to get people that are unbiased, fair-minded, and open to take trial? How? I don't see it, y'all. If you look at this court case, You read the indictments against King Slime, Young Slime for life. I do not know how they're going to prosecute this case. So I'm making a bold prediction right now. Lucci and Thug will be free in 2 years. They will be free in 2 years. How are you going to convict with limited evidence? Going against the county's support and what other people say. The head DA has already been shown to be incompetent. You've locked out many gang units, but we ain't seen many convictions. It's been quiet. Election season is brewing. But right now, you heard it from here first. A King Crowder exclusive. Tell me how they get these results. I hear what everybody else is saying. I see what they're saying about going to trial, but it should not take this long to get the formalities correct. Judges are going to get antsy. Attorneys are going to feel frustrated. Mark my words, ladies and gentlemen. YSL will be free. King Slime will beat these charges. YFN Lucci will beat these charges. You heard it from me first. And the DA, Fannie Willis, don't forget, she went after Trump as well, does not deliver. She should be fired. She should. If you're going to go against these charges, you need to have your ducks in a row, man. And if your ducks are not in a row, it's going to show. And right now, it's showing that it's not. Because these trials are insane. The amount of resources, the amount of lack of attention they've given to detail. People in the Atlanta area are constantly complaining about the court legal system right now. I am not saying it was not a bad idea to get these gang members off the street. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we are seeing a pattern of DAs locking people up with a lack of preparedness. So I'm calling it out now. Thug might go free. Next. Man, did y'all see Joe Biden up the ante for the PPP loan fraud? Did y'all see our fearless president extend the prosecutor time for 10 years? If you ain't been on LinkedIn lately, have y'all not seen the amount of recruitment of FBI agents to pursue PPP loan fraud? I've gotten 6 emails this week about the FBI seeking Special Forces agents, specifically for the PPP loan fraud division. They coming. They coming. If you have gotten a PPP in the past 3 years and you ain't paid it back, you ain't made no noise, and you have been quiet, turn yourself in. Turn yourself in. They are hiring agents 5 times the amount they used to. They have ads in Austin, Houston, New Orleans, Dallas, Shreveport, every metropolitan city I've seen. They're hiring FBI agents to pursue these crimes. They're going to be FBI agents working with IRS agents to pursue specific PPP fraud loan crimes. The new crime bill, if you ain't heard, everybody that got a PPP loan is going to prison. You're going to prison. Unless you can communicate effectively what happened to you, why you couldn't pay it back, y'all going to jail. Seriously. I'm seeing them writing on the wall, y'all. Book it. Remember, I like to tell you what's going on in the future before you even hear about it. And what I'm seeing right now, y'all, I have never seen the FBI promote this heavy on LinkedIn, on emails. Indeed. What? The FBI, they hiring. They are hiring tenfold. They have upped the age to 38 years old as the max age now. Think about that. That means from 18 to 38 years old is a window where you can hire and work for the FBI to pursue and lock up people that committed PPP loan fraud. It's scary. I have family members that did it. I'm not proud of it. I had family members that were free band, free game. They were filling out, they were PPP popping. Man, they could not have told me this was going to happen. And when you think about it now, the next president is going to be a Republican president, most likely. I don't know the future politically. Whatever you lean, I'm more into local, national has its place. Be aware of everything. But most likely it's going to be a Republican president. Woo! Y'all heard it first here. They are going to be locking people up tenfold. A 10-year grace period has been extended. If you've known anyone that has potentially committed PPP loan fraud, family, friend, cousin, sister, spouse, make themselves turn them in, y'all. Turn yourself in. Please. Save your family, save your resources, save your issues. The PPP loan fraud is getting serious. And I don't want to be locked up. I don't. I genuinely don't. I don't want to see him in prison, man. Jail ain't the place for nobody. I visited my brothers, cousins, family there before. And all I got to say, y'all, is, man, it ain't fun. You lose weight. You miss birthdays, holidays. Think about this, y'all. 1 year is 365 days a year, right? That's 1 year locked up. That means you will miss Christmas, Thanksgivings, birthdays, Halloween, Juneteenth, New Year's. You'll miss all of that, man. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Me? Nah. Ain't nothing worth my freedom. I don't care what nobody. Ain't nothing worth my freedom as a person. Nothing I can do, nothing you can add, nothing that you can add value to. You heard it here first, y'all. I'm not trying to scare you. I just want to make you aware. PPP loan is stepping their game up. They are hiring 5 times the amount of federal agents. They're locking people up. They're giving people jail time. They're not playing. And most people don't know these are fed crimes. Not state, federal. You took advantage of money during a health crisis. Listen, you ain't gotta like what I'm saying, but what I'm saying to you is the truth. You better turn yourself in. Man, our last subject for the night, man. King Crowder live again. Thank you for commenting and watching the show. Please hit the subscribe button, comment, like. Thank you for watching the show again. Ladies, I gotta get at y'all again. A new study was found by a research center, wasn't named, that nurses, CNAs, LPN, RN, licensed nurse practitioner, are more likely to cheat in their profession than any other profession. Number one, fellas, if you dating a nurse, throw it back to the streets right now. If you are dating a CNA, throw her back to the streets right now. If you dating an RN, throw her to the highway, break up, cut it off, end the relationship. Did you read what I just said? Studies find that nurses are 3 times more likely to cheat in their profession than others. There are women defending this, saying this is not true. They work long hours, which they do work 12-hour shifts. It is a dedicated profession. You make higher income. But the point that they are the most likely to cheat out of all professions, y'all, should cause you to pause. Let's read more. The people that the average nurses tend to have entanglement, look at that word. Like, see, right there, whoever wrote that need to be disrespected. Slap the taste out their mouth. Entanglement, this ain't no wheels. See, disrespectful. Disrespectful. I don't know who put that in there. I'm triggered. Yes, I am triggered. Most likely, nurses tend to work long hours, tend to be around male companionships, and doctors who work with them throughout the day. This profession is a high stress. If you ever want to see an example of it, watch Grey's Anatomy. I ain't never seen Grey's Anatomy, but now I gotta watch the show. If it's full of women cheating, listen, throw it back to the streets. Let's keep going. Nurses tend to make above high average income than the average male, which is true. Average RN tends to make upwards of $80,000 to $100,000, which is true. Travel nurses, if you throw it in, make great money. But if you worked in the hospitals, you will know hospitals and military women tend to do it the most. Man. Fellas, this hurt. I'm sorry if your wife a nurse. I'm sorry if your girl is a CNA, NA, whatever. Y'all need to have a talk. Fellas, y'all need to have a talk. You need to go ahead and ask her, is she in that 2/3%? Because this is crazy. So, let me read this correctly. Stress is the #1 cause of why the women cheat. I forgot they don't want to got stressed at the job. #2, they work long hours. I can't front. Nurses do work crappy hours. The pay is good, but 12-hour shifts is something that you must get adjusted to. Think about it. You work 12 hours, you sleep a few. When do you have time for your relationships? It is a valid point. That right there is a valid point. They do make great money compared to the average person. Fellas, what I'm hearing, if I'm wrong, if you are dating a nurse, break up with her today. If you are in a relationship with a woman that is a nurse, break up today. Tell her King Crowder told you to. Tell her he read the study. Break up, get you a teacher, get you a mental health specialist, get you a girl that work at McDonald's. It don't matter. Nurses are considered off limits. Fellas, we got to understand that these ratios, these big cheating hours, man, it ain't worth it. I know you may love a dog. Guess what? A lot of people love it too. But if this study has been answered anonymously by nurses, this is crazy. I don't feel, if my wife told me she wanted to be a nurse, man, I might hit, you hear me? Head, but right in that front cortex. Just right there. I would just do it off the get. Head, but right there. Because think about that. This study is already showing that they got a toxic lifestyle. And if they are already toxic, why want to be involved with that? So let's go and put this out there. Let's go and lay everything on the table. Nurses got their own issues. Fellas, if you are not in a financial position, you need to learn that nurses come with a baggage. The studies say what they say. The study says that they be cheating. That's what it say. I'm reading it. Look, everybody, I wish I could share the screen. I'm going to get good at it so I can share it because I want you to read it with me. Studies show that these ladies be cheating more than others. They are the most likely to cheat in their profession. Fellas, you can handle a lot. We can deal with a lot being men. Stress, issues, problems. But man, it's something about when a lady cheat on you, fellas. It's something about it. It could be anything. But when she mess with somebody that ain't on your level, I got a boy, man. Story time. Homeboy, right? I ain't gonna mention his name of profession because you might know who I'm talking about, so I'm gonna be careful. My homeboy boy, y'all, right? Well-to-do brother. Stays in a metropolitan city. And his young lady at the time that he was dealing with was complaining about him working a lot. So he had a regular ice delivery van delivered to the house because they were having ice issues at the house. So the young lady mentioned how she loved the ice driver and he was such a nice and compassionate gentleman. Do you know she went and made with this man? Let me say it again. Did you know that she went and messed with the Iceman? The Iceman! Man, look. I done been through a lot of things. I done had a lot of things happen to me. But if you gonna cheat on me with the Iceman, you deserve that 2-piece special. I ain't for domestic violence. I ain't for it. I'm not a person that believes in that. But if you gonna disrespect me out in public like that, listen, break up with me. Break up with me. Leave me alone. Cut me off. But to disrespect me openly and a dude that you know ain't doing what he's supposed to do can get you and I had to, listen, man. I know why some brothers do it. You ain't gonna Will Smith me. I'm gonna throw it out there. God, I know I shouldn't be joking about these type of subjects, but it must be said. When Jada told Will what she did when she cheated on Will should smack the fire. I said it. Will deserved a free hit. Will Smith deserved a free hit. You cannot tell that man on national TV as he was crying, bruh. That man was crying. He was truly hurt by that accusation. Neither one of them deserve that amount of disrespect, man. They don't. They don't. And once you get to the point where you're disrespecting each other openly, ain't no coming back. It ain't. And understand that you're going to develop with each other, man. It's hard to get around that. It is. And there is no easy solution. There is no easy understanding. I just want to advise all brothers that your spouse is one of your single greatest investments, fellas. And once you invest in a lady that's going to carry your last name, your legacy, your lineage, you must understand that it requires more. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap back up again with these nurses, y'all. I'm sorry. I got triggered by it, man. Stay away from these nurses. They cheating. They cheating. They cheating. They are 3 times more likely to cheat than any other woman in their profession. They are. I made a lot of bold predictions tonight. I felt good. I did, man. I just wanted to talk and discuss because I believe these type of topics, y'all, need to be talked about in our community. Truth don't have no feelings attached to it. Honest words have no bearing. We love each other because we tell each other the truth. I'm going to tell you all day. People that lie to you, they don't love you. They don't. People that tell you the truth, they love you. People that lie to garnish your feelings, don't tell you what they really thinking, they ain't your people. They not. And people that are your people deserve your respect, your acknowledgement, and your love. Remember, after tonight's meeting, it's a lot of things that happened this week that we just discussed about and broke down. But the things that are most impactful to you are what you should learn. I am here not to humiliate, not to disrespect, but to acknowledge and give a topic of these discussions. I'm here to educate you, to provide insight, and I care about Black Americans. I do. I am one. I am one, done my genealogy, my research, know where I come from, proud of my legacy, know how they came with enslavement, dealt with it, got their freedom, fought the Civil War. I'm educated on all of that. Do your research and educate yourself. You have nothing to be ashamed of. But I love talking on Black American issues, topics, because I feel like it's interesting. Our culture is really unique. Now, there's some good or bad stuff, but there's also a lot of good to what we do. There's a lot of impact to what we're pursuing and what is currently happening. So, King Crowd, recommending you again that you subscribe, like, and comment to the channel. I enjoyed that you watched, commented, liked, and got the joke with me, man. It was so awesome to do. I'm going to keep coming back with this heat. I'm going to learn how to add the screen so you can read what I'm reading too, because I really want to get on that. I think that's really needed. I'm going to figure it out, y'all. Like I said, I'm just learning this thing. I'm adding everything to my repertoire and learning the social media game, so forgive me. But please watch me and enjoy my journey. I'm so grateful that you could be here. I'm so appreciative of everybody that's showing support and love. And just know, I'm doing this for a purpose, not just to get money, which is a part of it. We all want to make money, it's affluent wealth, right? But it's to talk and have these uncomfortable conversations. I want to keep on adding things of calls, everything later down the line. I'm nowhere near that point, y'all. I'm a little peon right now. But as I grow, these are things that I want to speak into fruition, into existence, and I want to work hard and to make sure everything we talk about tends to happen so we can all make a grass-fed living. Man, it's your boy, King Crowder. back again with another live. This time, it was a live edition about different things that we got going on and what is going on currently. It's your boy checking out. Until next time, peace.